then I found Walnut Hill Park, and it's a beautiful place. I love the park and the museum up the street. But then I started to notice that besides just a beautiful place, it was a place where I heard people speaking Polish, where I heard people speaking Italian, where I heard people speaking Spanish, where on Sundays I could see the old West Indians out playing cricket. It is a wonderful, diverse community, and that's the reason that I decided to stay and raise my kids in New Britain. It's a wonderful place, and it is our strength. When you think about this community over the generations, it's been immigrant communities that have built this city. They did the work in the factories. They are the source of the structure of our city. We also have really great assets. The parks I mentioned earlier, the library, the museum, and a water system. When the first time the power went out, I noticed I still have water. It's not like if you had a well where if there wasn't any electricity, there was no water. We have a gravity-fed system that our ancestors, well, I don't know ancestors, but our forefathers took great care in building. And that water asset is something that the other sides think we can just sell off. We had this proposal last summer that we would sell a well to Southington for the cost of what we used to sell the water in a year. And because of that proposal to sell the well, the mayor didn't tell us about the drought. Never asked anybody to conserve. We went for a long time with our reservoir levels dropping and dropping and dropping. And we ended up then having to buy water from NBC. All of this was because she was trying to push forward that effort to sell the well. And then there's probably the even more troublesome, scarier issue, which is the whole Tilcon deal, where she's talking about selling our watershed land. Not selling it, but leasing it for 50 years, so that Tilcon can take the rock out and produce a giant hole in the ground that they'll call the reservoir at the end. Those sorts of things are not the kind of things that are good management of our assets. That's not the type of thing that we should be doing. We need to be looking at how we build a better New Britain, not by selling off our assets, but by embracing our strengths. When we look at where do we have a strong commercial district in town, it's Little Poland, it's Broad Street. That's a great example of a coherent commercial district with a theme. We've got other strong ethnic communities in town, and it's time that they get their community, their commercial district as well. And we need to look at ways that we keep and grow the manufacturers we have. We don't have as many as we used to, but we do have some manufacturers, and we do need to help them make sure they've got a workforce to replace the folks who are getting ready to retire. That's one of the things that I've worked on in the school district, is supporting the creation of academies at our high school that can help to train people for the health industry, for finance, and we're now looking at science and technology, and I hope to eventually get into manufacturing as well. All of those are ways that we help prepare our students for jobs and a stronger New Britain. Now, many of you know that early childhood is the thing that I've worked on for a long time. I've always believed that the best way to help our children succeed in school is to get them a good, strong start. And I worked for 10 years here as the director of the New Britain Early Childhood Collaborative to expand the supply of preschool and to help families understand that our providers, our community early childhood providers, geared up to be able to take advantage of resources when they became available to the state, so that we could make sure that more of our children were getting that quality preschool experience. More recently, I've worked to help make sure that our kindergartens were developmentally appropriate, that play comes back into kindergarten.
Yes.
Under No Child Left Behind, we went a little overboard in testing and trying to push things down. So kindergarten had become much more like first grade. And we realized that that's not really how children who are 5 learn. They learn a lot better when they're engaged in their learning and they're having fun, and they learn from using their imaginations. And that's been a place where we've seen real growth. We have bilingual teachers saying, wow, the kids are learning a whole lot more words than they used to, because now they're engaged in what they're doing. Those are the kinds of things that we need to do. I've spent my career bringing people together, looking at data, figuring out how we come up with solutions. That's what I want to do for New Britain. I think that we have a great base to build on, and now it's time that we all come together and build a better New Britain.